founding Soracom, Kenta served as a solution architect at AWS and conducted research for the connected homes and cars at Ericsson Research in Tokyo and Stockholm. So I would like to welcome Kenta on stage.
I'm Kenta Yasukawa. I'm CTO and co-founder of the company Soracom. We are offering smart connectivity platform as a service to be able to accelerate your time to market whenever IoT or connected device project you guys have. I would like to introduce some the customer case studies that we worked with. Then we'd like to share some lessons we learned by working with those customers. So I'd like to start talking about, introduce myself a little bit. As already mentioned, I started my career as a researcher at Ericsson. So I worked for connected home, connected car type projects, and I connected sensors and actuators in the field so that they can be integrated with cloud. That was what I started back in 2008 or so. And then I realized that every time I kind of build a system, always I'm kind of drawing a fluffy cloud in the middle of the architecture diagram saying, once devices are connected to the cloud, they become intelligent and we can achieve anything that we want. That was a demo I was building and presenting, but I was not so sure what the cloud offers to us. I was not expert in the cloud at all at that point. So I decided to join Amazon Web Services as a solutions architect so that I can know more about the cloud and if what I was presenting was true or not. And I worked with various customers and supported to build the cloud architecture by using AWS Cloud. And I realized that it's not magic. You have to write a code. You have to build architecture to be able to do what you want to achieve. But certainly, I realized that cloud can make any system better. You can actually achieve the better, highly scalable, reliable infrastructure by using cloud technology. That's what I learned and realized. So I decided to, and one night actually I started to think, hey, I used to work for telecom and I built the connected systems by using the telecom infrastructure. And now I know cloud. So why don't we create a cloud-native telecom platform that can connect everything and everyone. That way we can actually achieve highly connected world and support the oil and gas industries and any industry to be able to be more connected. That was well, I didn't mention oil and gas at that point, to be honest, but that was the conversation I had with my co-founder, Ken, when I was having a beer with him. So we decided to start a company, Soracom, so that we can connect more and more devices and achieve connected world. That's my story. So what we do is we provide a smart connectivity platform as a service based on the cloud-native cellular architecture we built. So as I said, I used to work for Ericsson and telecom industry. My co-founder Ken and Dan, Ken used to work for AWS Cloud as well, and Dan, he used to work for NTT Docomo. So we joined forces together from the telecom and cloud and built our platform. We started back in 2015, so we are still a young company, but we have already connected more than 4 million devices in the world. We have customers in all over the world, and our team's members are based in Tokyo, London, and Seattle, and everywhere in the US, and that's who we are. We are currently serving more than 20,000 customers worldwide, because our platform is the commitment-free, self-service-based platform. It's like just like AWS, Google, Microsoft Cloud Services. You can just open up an account, and you can order connect SIM cards or devices, and you can start building your system on top. So you don't have to do any commitment or any contract work. You can just open up an account and start building systems. Because of that, we have a wide variety of customers and many small and medium-sized businesses to enterprise customers, such a wide portfolio of customers in our platform. So how we serve the oil and gas industry, as you may have already guessed based on what I said, we connect the cloud services and the connected devices that you have in the field. And we sit in the middle and connect these two so that you can actually focus on applications and systems that you are going to build. So we have multiple connectivity options. Cellular is one of them. We have supported 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G networks. We also supported LP1 technologies such as Sigfox. We also started to integrate satellite connectivity as well. And we have our own cloud services as well. We have data storage and visualization and all that. But of course, you can choose your preferred cloud service as well. We are cloud agnostic smart connectivity provider. We have also worked with device partners and system integrators. So if you have your own device, we can also connect those to the back end. We also have provided devices through our partner network so that we can cover various use cases. So one story that I would like to share is the Nicigas. They are a company in Japan who has offered LNG, the gas service to the offices and the residential areas. Another story I'd like to share is this company IHI. They have gas plants everywhere in the world, and they need to monitor those facilities from a control center. So what they have been doing is they use our connectivity to securely connect their control center to their remote gas plants. That's what they are doing. Another example I want to share is the Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. They invented this robot, smart robot that can actually autonomously move in the oil rig or gas plant and take the video image and analyze it and send back to their cloud environment. So it actually, it is an autonomous robot, so it can actually just move around by itself. Or when an operator or administrator needs to remotely access, they can also do it by using the smart connectivity that we provide. So of course, as discussed in the next room, cybersecurity is highly important for these use cases. They need a secure connection. That's what we provide for them. They can actually connect these robots from their cloud environment securely anytime they need. So those are the custom case studies that I wanted to share, and I will go deeper as we talk more about them, about what we do. But if I go back to where we started, so why at the first place, why did we start our company and why are we here at this conference to share what we have built? The reason is there are so many common issues, common challenges when it comes to building connected system. I think you guys all are aware of these challenges. Connectivity is definitely the main topic discussed in this session, but it's one of the challenges when it comes to building cloud-backed connected systems. Of course, you need to think about security. That's a top concern when it comes to building connected system. Cloud integration is another thing. AWS has built cloud services for IoT. Microsoft has an Azure IoT as well. Google, well, they built, but they are now going to terminate the service, but certainly they have built one as well. So there are different options that the developers need to think of, and certainly you need to work on to connect those cloud services from the connected devices. And once devices are in the field, you need to have a way to manage them, remotely managing configuration or changing parameters or updating firmware and so on and so on. So many challenges come from that. The devices are connected to the internet, and they need to go through the internet to reach out to cloud services. So what we thought of when we thought about building a cloud-native connectivity platform is that if we can actually achieve isolated environment for devices and cloud to talk to each other without having to go through the internet, we can actually address many challenges that we saw in the previous slide. So that was the idea we started to get when we started to build the cloud-native telecom infrastructure. So that's what we built at Soracom. So we have built telecom infrastructure on top of cloud, and we now have provided connectivity from that environment to devices in the field. And if you want to connect to the internet, of course, we can support that. We can enable internet access for those devices. But if you just need to access cloud services or your private data center from your devices, we can also achieve that because devices are directly connected to our platform. And so from device point of view, next hop is already Soracom Cloud built on top of AWS. So if you are using, for example, AWS, you don't have to go through the internet to access those services. We have cloud-agnostic integration to other cloud services, Google and Microsoft. So if you choose to use Microsoft, for example, you can do that too without going through the internet. How can we do that? But you may have wondered, although I said, you don't have to go through the internet, but cellular, usually what it does is it connects your devices to the internet, right? So the reason why we can actually achieve cloud-native integration is that we have our own cellular network built on top of AWS. I don't go too deep into this diagram, but I just wanted to show that we have all the infrastructure built on top of AWS, and we integrate with network operator partners such as AT&T, T-Mobile, and we have global coverage, so we have agreement in various in major countries and multiple carriers in each country. And we have this integration to those carriers, and since we have the cellular core network and integrate with those carriers, the devices don't have to go through the internet to access our platform. They just go directly from the local cellular carrier to Soracom platform. Then we can actually offer all the APIs and endpoint for the devices to integrate with cloud. That's how we have achieved this smart connectivity platform on cloud. So let me give you an example of what we can do. So as I said, as we are a connectivity provider, we of course connect devices to Soracom platform. That's the fundamental layer that we offer to our customers. Once devices are connected to Soracom, we can actually do, for example, if you have a cloud-based backend, we can achieve a private peering between our environment and your cloud environment so that you can create a private network of devices and servers. We can support like VPN, private fiber channel, or in-cloud VPC peering if you are running your workload on top of AWS. You can just click around and build a secure environment. We have integration to AWS, Google, and Microsoft and major cloud services. So your device can just send data to Soracom endpoint, and we call Cloud API on behalf. So you don't have to build the logic or credentials into each and every device of yours. We take care of the rest. So all your device needs to do is just to send data to Soracom platform. We take care of the rest. We also have our own data storage and visualization services. So if you are not sure which cloud to start with, you can just get started with Soracom data storage service. And later on, you can actually switch to AWS, Google, or Microsoft once you decide which one to use. Or you can store data in both ends so that you can actually integrate with cloud services and store data in Soracom. So it's totally up to you. Our policy is also to make the network connectivity layer as transparent as possible. So this is one interesting feature that we offer. We have an on-demand remote access that enables you to access devices securely anytime you need. We also have a packet capture feature. So if you want to do a troubleshooting, you can just click around on our web console or call our API to start a packet capture session. So for the specific period of time, we capture packets sent and received by your device and make it available for download so that you can use Wireshark or any tool to analyze the communication. We also have a secure link service. So if you are using your own internet connection to connect devices like Wi-Fi, Ethernet, or whatever, we can still achieve secure link from our endpoint to your device so that all our services are available through the internet as well. So by using these services, we have supported customers to build the systems and scale from small size of the deployment to 1 million device scale. So how did we do that? Let me actually talk about the Nicigas case study again. So Nicigas, what they came to us and said, okay, we want to connect 1 million gas meters to cloud environment. We have chosen AWS as the cloud service provider, and we know how to prepare the cloud side. But we have 1 million devices sending data to AWS, and usually AWS has the SDK, and you have to create a credential for each device, and you need to call API through the internet. So what happens is, if you do it over the internet, what you have to do is you have to do HTTPS call API transaction. If you choose AWS IoT, it could be MQTTS, but still you need to do secure heavy protocol from the device to the cloud API directly, if you do it over the simple internet connection. And this actually, involves the significant communication overhead, as you can imagine. And also, since you need to install SDK and build firmware, and you need to configure credentials for each and every device, it is not as simple as you might think. And also, the overhead caused by these encryption operation and credential management, it takes a lot of effort and drains battery. And of course, your developer needs to write the code to integrate with cloud services. So, and protocol overhead is not something you can ignore, especially when you think about 1 million device scale. So let's say if you do HTTPS transaction to send meter reading to your cloud endpoint, you might actually have to do 10 kilobytes of data per transaction, which is small if you just have one device sending data to your endpoint. But if you're thinking about like 1 million devices, that could be already a huge amount of data. And if you are going to use cellular as the backhaul connection, it could be a huge cost. But if you can actually use simpler protocol, lightweight protocol, like plain text HTTP, MQTT, or even TCP, UDP raw socket, it can save tremendous amount of data usage. And that will reduce the cost, of course, and also reduce the battery consumption on the device. If you're running a device with a battery, this saves a lot of battery by reducing the communication overhead and encryption overhead. So in case of Soracom Smart Connectivity Platform, you can just send data to Soracom endpoint just by using the simplest protocol possible. It could be like just a single UDP packet to Soracom. And then we can extract the payload from the packet and call the cloud endpoint on behalf of the device. By doing this, of course, communication overhead is reduced, and also you don't have to have the cloud SDK or credentials on each device, because we can receive data securely through our cellular network, and then also we can actually authenticate each device by using SIM card ID. So we can actually securely receive data without any authentication or encryption, and then integrate with cloud endpoint with much lower communication overhead. And this means that as far as you have the Soracom SIM embedded in the device, you don't have to do credential management either. So that's another big saving for total cost of ownership, because if you have to manage the devices by using expensive MDM or any device management solution, that could be another development plus solution cost. We have a bunch of other features in our platform. I will just quickly mention that, summarize what I just talked about. So we can receive data by using low overhead protocol. And then we can actually convert it into cloud compatible secure protocol and call cloud services API on behalf. This can actually enable the integration of connected devices to cloud environment easily. We also have our own data storage and visualization. And if necessary, we can also convert data format by applying the logic you provide before sending the data to cloud environment. So let's say if your PLC or your gas meters, or if your device has some proprietary format, we can you can actually write a piece of code to apply before sending the data to cloud so that we can convert data into cloud compatible formats such as JSON in this case. So we have all these logic implemented in our platform. So it's not just a simply connectivity. It has smart features that make your life easier and accelerate your time to market. Also, we have multiple connectivity options available, and you can blend different options. So in case of Nicigas, our customer, they wanted to use additional LP1 protocols to save the cost of module and deployment cost. So they chose Sigfox, but this can be a LoRaWAN or other options as well. In our case, and if you need to use multiple connectivity options, usually you have to talk to multiple providers and integrate with each platform. In case of Soracom, we have supported multiple options. Cellular is one of them, and also we support the Sigfox. And if you have a LP1, like a LoRaWAN gateway, we can also work with you to integrate. So by using that, your backend can just have one single integration to Soracom, and then we can actually integrate all these multiple connectivity options. This blended network support is key for scalable deployment. And successfully, the Nicigas has deployed 1 million devices, and Unabiz and Soracom, Unabiz is our partner who acquired Sigfox. We jointly served them, and the customer has been really happy so far, and they gave us an award as a technology partner just recently. Another thing that I want to talk about is security and our customers, what they have done. So the security is another big thing, and if the connectivity provider is just offering internet connection, you need to think about how to secure your infrastructure. So how did we help IHI and Mitsubishi Heavy Industries to implement secure architecture? That's another topic I'd like to talk about. So we have a private networking services. We have something called the virtual private gateway. Because we have implemented everything on top of cloud and we have software components that we can launch anytime, we can actually create a customer dedicated private gateway for our cellular network. And you can actually use that gateway to peer with your AWS VPC or your cloud environment by using VPN, or we can also do private fiber channel. And we can also let the devices connecting over the internet to participate in this private networking environment if needed. So by doing this, you can have a totally private network for your servers and devices. This helps a lot when it comes to securing your infrastructure. Like, for example, in case of IHI, you've been using virtual private gateway and environment to create a secure environment. So even if someone tries to access the infrastructure, there is no way to do that. This private network is isolated from the internet. Another thing that I'd like to talk about is the Mitsubishi Heavy Industries machines. They also need to access the devices securely from the administrator's office when needed. So what they have done is they have done both cellular network and our secure link service. So in case the devices, the robot is connected over Ethernet or cellular, not Ethernet because robot walks around, it's probably Wi-Fi. When they connect over the internet, they use our secure link service to establish connection to Soracom, and then they use our remote access on-demand access feature to remotely access those robots from the administrator. And we have all these features, but it's not only that. We have a solutions architect team, so whenever the customer is going to develop a cloud integrated architecture, our solutions architect can help. So in case of Mitsubishi, we have helped them. Our solutions architect team worked with them because it was a new project for them. So we helped them architect this entire system by using AWS and Soracom, and they actually could reduce the project cycle much faster, much shorter because of the support from our solutions architect team. So two key takeaways I'd like to mention here is that by using smart connectivity with blended network support, you can actually accelerate time to market and also make the deployment scalable. And security is the top priority when it comes to connected devices. And our infrastructure allows to add an additional security layer as needed anytime. So that can make your development and also the security of the architecture without doing all the design and project on your end. And as a result, you can actually accelerate time to market and reduce the total cost of ownership. So we like to also support anyone, our partners who are going to build systems for their end customers, or we can also directly support the customers in this oil and gas space industry, and we are happy to work with them, work with you guys. That concludes my presentation, and I would like to take any question if you have. Those are great questions. I will break your questions into a few pieces and answer one by one. So first question, if we have all the cellular components by ourselves, the answer is yes. We have a cellular core network that supports 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, and we have been using that as a cellular core to offer the cellular connectivity. And the second question is about the private network. I use the term private network, and that actually meant two different things. And I use that term to explain isolated network for your devices and your servers. That's what I meant. And the private network, I know it also means the private cellular network, like CBRS-based LTE and so on. Since we have our own, so the answer is we basically offer public cellular network through our carrier partners. Like for example, here in the US, we have supported AT&T and T-Mobile network. So as far as the public cellular signal is available, your devices can connect to Soracom endpoints through their carrier cellular signals. But since we have all the telecom core network elements, we can actually work with you to create a private cellular hotspot by using private LTE CBRS gateways. So we are happy to discuss with you if you have that kind of private cellular network deployment in mind. We are happy to talk about that. And yeah, please, yes. Did I cover all the questions you had, or? Yeah, so the Sigfox, we have closely worked with Unibase. If you have followed the news, Unibase is the company who acquired Sigfox after the Sigfox got out of the business. I mean, got bankrupt. Yes, that's the right term. So the Unibase has now becomes the new owner of Sigfox, and we are offering the Sigfox services through Unibase since the beginning. So it's been offering the services as normal, and we have kept serving all the customers. And for the United States, we have been discussing, Sigfox now has an option to do private base stations. So they can offer those private base stations. They have been already doing that in Canada and North America as well. And we have been serving the backhaul connections for those base stations too. So jointly, we can support the Sigfox deployment in the US as well. But we are not kind of limited to Sigfox in terms of LPWAN. We have done LoRaWAN deployment as well. So we can certainly support customers using LoRaWAN as well. The point is we are one-stop shop for all different connectivity options. We recently announced our satellite connection support with the partnership with a company called Astrocast. So we are further extending our offering. So our goal is to be able to connect everyone all over the world. Thank you, everyone.